toast to their career.
The perfect combination, boy.
Hip hard legends in the South.
This is sports fans' only home for the hottest sports show around. These guys are on fire.
You're now listening to KJ and Shawn Mack.
Welcome back to Last Take with your host, KJ and Shawn Mack. And ladies and gentlemen, we have a special guest for today's show. But before I get to our special guest, I got to say what's up to my boy, the undisputed, the champion of all champions, the future Hall of Famer of this YouTube thing we call SFO Last Take. My man, my brother from another mother. What's good, Shawn Mack?
Not much, man. Greet him how I always greet him.
Let's do it.
Hi, everybody. How you doing, Kay?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing real good. And like I said to everybody, this was the NFL draft this past weekend, and our special guest is our boy Jules. We call him Jules. And I love that. It has a good affection to me because I'm a Patriot fan. Julian Edelman, Jules. So great addition to the show. Glad to have you here, bro. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing all right, man.
Let's bring him in. I just want to let people know, Jules, upstanding gentleman, young guy. I'm a friend of the family. And it's so good to have him here. Jules, let the people know how old you are before you tear it apart.
I'm 17 years old, and I'm a junior in high school.
Wow. Starting young Kuiper. Let's clap it up for him.
Clap it up. This is the future of sports talk radio and NFL draft analysis. Before we get forward, is this something that you want to do as a career, Jules?
I mean, it's definitely something I'd like to do. I still got a lot of work to do, still deciding what I want to major in college, and just need to figure this all out. But I'm definitely looking into it.
Just a piece of advice. I got my bachelor's degree, and this is what I want to do with my life. And I did communications and sports media. So I don't know if you have your own thing set up or whatever, but those are the two things I was advised to take if you wanted to get into sports talk radio. So just a little bit of advice. So anyway, anything you want to say, Shawn Mack, before we get into this?
Nah, let's get it going. I cannot wait to hear what the young man has to tell us.
Yes, and
we're very rounded in sports. We know our sports, but we don't really particularly, specialize in one thing, in one field. He does. Let's go.
Yeah, let's get it. Young Mel Kiper here. This Jules. Remember the name, Jules. So anyway, let's get at it. So Jules, if you had to pick your top 5 teams that hit home runs in this year's draft, which 5 teams would you say absolutely just crushed the draft and they're at the top of the pack when it comes to, picking good picks?
To be honest, for me, these 5 teams, they all got through their needs with high level players. They got some steals in it, got some high level players on day 1 and day 2. But these teams just had the best all around draft for me. So for my number 1 team, no order, but my first team, I got the Ravens. They got Rashad Bateman and Jason Owe in the first round, 2 of their biggest needs. Finally got Lamar some help. Got a deep ball receiver who's great after the catch. I think he could have a Justin Jefferson type year. He's got the exact same build and the exact same play style as him. For my number 2 team, I got the Browns. JOK in the second round, absolute steal, especially the late second round. Greg Newsome late in the first, another steal, fills their need. Building up that defense, which is already stacked with Myles Garrett and Jadeveon Clowney on the edge.
Yes.
For my third team, I got the Chargers. Got Slater at 13, absolute steal. My number 2 O-lineman. All-around great pick. Second round, they got Asante Samuel Jr., son of the great Asante Samuel, obviously. Pat's corner. And then they picked up Trey McKitty, solid tight end. Helps fills that need, especially since they have Jared Cook there, who's going to retire very shortly. And they picked up Chris Rumph in the 4th round. Edge out of Duke, another great player, good value. He can play an impact right away, and if not, he'll be great on special teams. For my 4th team, I got the Pats. Fill their need at QB with Mac Jones. He's my number 5 QB, and that's where he went. Second round, Barmore, solid pick, good value, and fills another need. For me, I love their 3rd and 4th picks, Ronnie Perkins, Ramondre Stevenson, since I'm an OU fan. 2 of my favorite players, Stevenson, power back, who plays like a speed back.
Yes.
And Ronnie Perkins, a bit of an undersized edge, but he's an amazing pass rusher, and he can develop in the run game.
Yes.
And for my last team, I got the Lions. Sewell at number 7, another great pick. A lot of people thought he was going to the Bengals, but he falls to them at number 7. Filled their needed D-line with Levi Onwuzurike and Ali McNeil. Pick up Ifeatu Melifonwu in the 3rd. Great corner out of Syracuse. And pick up Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's the brother of Equanimous St. Brown. He's a great receiver out of USC. Fell a bit due to his 40 time when he ran a 4.5, but another solid pick. And they got Jamar Jefferson in the 7th round, who's a good running back out of Oregon State.
Wow, good to go. Where did Asante Samuel Jr., what college did he go to?
I went to Florida State.
Wow, I had no idea. That just shows you how far Florida State, how the mighty have fallen. Back in the 90s, early 2000s, they were a powerhouse. Now they're just they don't even get too many national televised games like they used to. So, wow, I had no idea he was going to the NFL.
I just have a question for you.
Yeah.
It's kind of a selfish question. What do you think about my Saints pick? Because I'm hearing that it wasn't too well. I don't know. Should they have went for a quarterback maybe too? Because we have 2 quarterbacks, which means you probably have none.
To be honest, I don't think so, especially with the top 5 going way earlier in the first. I heard they were considering trading up for a QB, but obviously didn't get the trade, didn't get the guy they wanted. So they get Peyton Turner late in the first. I had him going a bit later. He's still a solid player. He reminds me a lot of Cam Jordan. Has very high ceiling, great potential. He's going to be a bit of a project, but if they can develop him right, he'll be a great player. Pete Warner, 2nd round pick. I like him a lot. Went right where I thought he would, late 2nd. Fills their need a linebacker as their guys are aging a little bit. And then Paulson DeDevo in the 3rd round. Great corner out of Stanford. Fits their scheme perfectly, in my opinion, and I think it was a great pick. And then they took Ian Book, who's one of the winningest, if not the winningest, QB out of Notre Dame. He's an amazing guy. He's a great player, high character guy. Going to take a lot of development, but if they can do that right, it'll be a good developmental pick.
Thank you. I feel better now.
I think him and Sean Payton, you get them 2 together, Sean Payton can bring the best out of Ian. So let's hope he has a good career down there in New Orleans. Since we're talking about quarterbacks, now I'm going to switch this question up just a little bit. Basically the same question. But I was going to ask you, who acquired the better quarterback between Justin Fields or Mac Jones? But I want to throw this little twist in it. Seeing that the teams that they're going to, Justin Fields to the Bears, Mac Jones to the Patriots, which one is the better fit? Maybe that's the question. Because I know talent-wise, Justin Fields has a higher ceiling. But if you had to pick a team, you have to take into account coaching, other players, stuff like that. Who do you think got the best quarterback from the Patriots or the Bears?
I think day one, Mac Jones is the better QB, the more complete prospect. He's got a lot of solid traits. He's not too amazing at anything, but he's solid all around. Justin Fields has some work to do, but he'll certainly be a great player. As for fit, I got to say Mac Jones. He went to the perfect scheme, perfect team for him. He should do very well there. Both teams have obviously Mac Jones had all the help he could have at Alabama. Yeah. But Pat's did a great job this offseason bringing in some weapons for him, and I think he can do well there.
Okay, cool. Now, since we're in the tri-state area and most people around here are either Patriots, Jets, or Giants fans, we're just going to stick with New York. And I know a lot of fans want to hear your opinion on this. Which New York team had the better draft, the Giants or the Jets?
To be honest, both had fantastic drafts. Both filled their needs fairly well. I just got to hand it to the Jets. They had an amazing draft. They got Zach Wilson, number 2 overall, great QB. He's going to develop a little bit. They got Elijah Vera Tucker later in the first by trading up with the Vikings. He's another great player, best guard in the draft. He can play both guard and tackle. He's got a great versatility in that sense. Okay. They got Elijah Moore in the second, great receiver. I had him going in the first round, but he fell a little bit. He'll play great there. He's a great slot receiver. Then they picked up Michael Carter, 4th round. My running back 5 out of UNC. He split snaps with Javonte Williams in college, but he can be great there, and he should have some success there. Okay. And then picked up a very good player in Hamson Israel Dean in the 6th round. Solid safety out of Florida State. He'll be a solid player. If he can't contribute right away, he'll be a good special teamer.
Okay. All right. Well, the Jets, I feel bad for Sam Darnold because as soon as he leaves is when they retool the whole team. But I don't want people to feel too bad for Sam Darnold because he went to a pretty good situation down there in North Carolina, and they're basically doing what the Jets are doing. They had a pretty good, decent draft too, the Carolina Panthers. So hopefully we can see some better things out of Sam Darnold. Okay, moving on. Who got the best value at wide receiver from the second round on? So not speaking on any of the first-round receivers, from the second round on, who do you think got the best value at the wide receiver position?
This one I got three guys who I got to give this to. Just mentioned the Jets with Elijah Moore. I had him as a first-round receiver. He's a great slot guy. He can be fantastic.
Okay.
My next guy, Diami Brown, third round of the Washington football team. He's an amazing pick, great value. A lot of guys had him way higher on their boards. Amazing deep threat. Had a limited route tree at UNC, but he can definitely develop that, and he's a great route runner with a great stutter step. My other guy is Tylan Wallace to the Ravens. He's a great receiver, led the Big 12 in receiving the past 2 years, which is saying something there. Tylan Wallace is a great receiver. He can fit very well into that Ravens offense and succeed with Lamar.
Okay. All right, cool.
Could I hop
You
in,
want to say
Jay?
something? Yeah, go ahead, Shawn.
Yeah. Jules, usually when a draft happens, somebody have the top team, and, most people are in agreement with who that team was that had the best pick. Now, we know from experience, when you look back 5 years later, so my question is going to be, when we look back 5 years later at this draft, which team do you really think in your heart is going to have the best class?
To be honest, this has got to go strictly based on needs and coaching staff to help develop their team, and if those players fill the need. These coaches, they do a fantastic job developing these players, and if they can do that, that'll certainly show who had the best draft class. But for this one, I got to give it to the Ravens just because they got all their needs. They're certainly a Super Bowl contender, and their draft certainly made them better and can help push them over that hump that they've been needing.
Yeah, one thing I love about the Ravens is they did exactly what they needed to do, was get speed at the wide receiver position. They got bigger at the wide receiver position. They already had an all-pro tight end. They already had the running backs, the quarterback. So it's time for Lamar Jackson to – I'm not going to put too much pressure on those receivers the first year, but he's got about a 2-year window before those fans start turning on him if he doesn't show some progress coming up in the next 2 years. So the defensive lineman out of Alabama, Christian Barmore, many considered him to be the best interior pass rusher and defensive lineman when it comes to the interior. Why do you think he fell so far? Why do you think he fell to the second round? And the second part of that question is, why do you think there were absolutely no defensive tackles taken in the first round in general?
I can kind of combine the two there.
Okay.
So I say the reason a lot of them fell was just strictly due to this amazing offensive class. 5 QBs, 5 receivers, 2 running backs. Absolutely amazing class for them. A lot of teams filled those needs. Another great offensive line class as well. It was just an offensively loaded class.
Okay.
Second part of that is a lot of teams didn't have the need or the desperate need for a D lineman.
Okay.
And a lot of them went to fill their offensive needs instead. But Barmore, in my opinion, he's a very solid player. He's a great pass rusher, but he really struggles in the run. I think the Pats can develop him, but that's certainly the biggest knock on his game. The next thing, I heard some rumors that he is a bit uncoachable, doesn't take too well to coaching.
Okay.
But, obviously, arguably and probably the greatest coach of all time, Bill Belichick, can certainly put that in there.
Yeah. It's actually surprising when I heard that, because I was like, wow, he's uncoachable, and he's being coached by Nick Saban. So that was kind of an eye opener. And then also, he's a huge man. He's like 6'4", 310, 315 pounds. How are you not able to capitalize on that and stop the run? To me, that speaks to effort. Now, I haven't watched a lot of him, so I will be watching a lot of him. But I'm just kind of questioning whether or not his effort is stopping him from being a great run stopper. Kind of like Ndamukong Suh. He has all the motivation to get to the passer, but when it comes to run defense, he's okay, but he's not great. So anyway, that's neither here and there. Next question. Out of all the quarterbacks, now everybody's praising Trevor Lawrence. He's the second coming of Peyton Manning or Tom Brady or whatever. Out of all the quarterbacks that were drafted, in your opinion, who is poised to have the best NFL career? Who do you think is, from the team they went to, you combine all the different factors, who do you think is going to have the best NFL career when it's all said and done?
Early on, for the first couple years, I got to go with Mac Jones. I think even though Belichick announced that Cam will start initially, Mac will likely come in since he's just that accurate and that.
I agree.
Yeah.
Great. But after that, I'm going to give it to either Lance or Fields because both are fairly developmental, especially Lance. Both are heading to solid systems with good amount of help, especially Lance in that sense.
Okay.
But Lance is going to sit behind Jimmy G for a year or two, maybe even 3. And once he gets that, he's in a good system. He's got great help with Kittle. They're great running back core and receiver core. Yep. And they're great O-line as well. So I think Lance and Fields are poised for the best career.
Okay.
Yeah. To me, it seemed like Mahomes kind of messed up the draft now because where you would get Mahomes and a Brady late in the draft and you might not know that person's going to actually become a superstar, scouts are now trying to foresee and pick that Mahomes player early now. Justin Fields.
Lance, Trevor, the guy that went to,
Yeah, the kid from the Jets. So it's just, I don't know. It seemed like draft is different than it used to be, but you need a quarterback, and that's it.
Yeah, you need a quarterback.
Yeah, it's like if you get a quarterback and it works out 100%, kudos to you. If it doesn't, you're still going to need a quarterback, so it's worth trying. Just wanted to say that.
Well, getting quarterbacks from schools that aren't in the Power 5 conferences, that's definitely a new trend. Somebody from BYU, I think.
I was just going to say, Jules, what do you think about the BYU quarterback? He kind of came out of nowhere in my eyes. It seemed like he was on no boards. Then all of a sudden people say, well, he's a solid player. He's mentally into the game. He can read his routes. He can change at the line. What do you think about him?
Zach Wilson obviously had a fantastic year. Before this year, he was probably a late round 3, early round 4 player. But this year certainly boosted his stock, and a lot of that is due to just his development as a QB. He started a few games before, but this is where he really got his chance to shine. He has the most Mahomes-type traits, and I think that's also part of it, going back to what you said. He's got a cannon for an arm. He can roll out and throw the ball on the run very well like Mahomes. Yeah. He's very athletic, very mobile. He's just a great QB. I think he'll take a little bit to develop, but with the help of the Jets gave him in this draft, he should be solid.
Gotcha.
People don't you can't underestimate TV contracts. BYU just became an independent, I think, was it last year or the year before? And so with their schedule, they basically pick who they want to play. So they can kind of load their schedule up with good teams, so they're on TV a lot more than they used to be. And I think that also plays a role in somebody like that playing at that type of school. Because outside of him, I think Ty Detmer might be Steve Young. There's been a couple. But anyway, I'm getting off subject. So I think we already asked this question. Who had the best overall draft? Did we ask that yet? Who had the best overall? You did, right? Yeah, you did.
Back 5 years, but we all know it was. He says the Ravens.
The Ravens. That's what he said. So okay. So for all my offensive lineman fans, who won the draft when it comes to offensive linemen? Which offensive lineman will have the biggest impact from day one?
As an offensive lineman myself, I know how to study them, know the traits that the teams are looking for. But for best day one player, I'm going Rashawn Slater. He's a more polished prospect than Sewell, but Sewell just has all the potential in the world to be a Hall of Famer. Slater both of them can play guard and tackle. Slater could be a fantastic, potentially Pro Bowl guard if he started day one. I think he's going to have a great impact on whatever team he goes to.
Okay.
The Chargers.
Okay. All right. So that's it, Shawn. That went. We rolled through that pretty nicely. Is it?
Well,
do you have anything else that you want to?
Well, I would like to talk to him.
Yeah.
How's it been playing the high school football, dealing with the COVID? How's it been? Has it been harder?
This past year was certainly difficult. We had to kind of make our own schedule, start our own private league in order to play since the whole state canceled it. We had 4 games and that was it. Our season was over just like that. But we were also us and Hawaii are the only 2 states to not play a spring season after not having a fall season, so that was also tough.
Tell me this. Do you think that's going to hurt when you have the scouts looking, the college scouts looking? Do you think that's actually going to hurt?
I think it can benefit some people and help others. It'll benefit those who wouldn't have played, but it'll start as seniors, but it'll hurt those who would have started junior year and then also start as seniors.
Gotcha.
So as long as you go to these camps, because I know with your coach, what's his name again? He's a legendary coach. Forgive me for not remembering his name. What's his name?
Coach Marinelli.
Yes, legendary, probably the best coach Connecticut has ever had when it comes to football, or at least top 3 anyway. Now, I know he sends you guys to camps a lot, right?
In the summer, yes.
In the summer. So that kind of makes up, as far as colleges seeing you and being interested, does that kind of make up for not totally make up, because nothing makes up game experience and getting better, but does that make up for the colleges not being able to come to the high school games?
It does, but you also have to take some initiative to go to some other camps that more colleges will be at just to prove yourself more and show more of your film. But, yeah, it does certainly help.
Okay. All right. Shawn, anything else you wanted to
Yeah, hold on. No,
let me just
let people know if you like the content, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, share the videos. That's all I want to know.
Yeah, I just want to share this because I too used to play football. And back in my glory days, in the 90s, McMahon was kind of what New Canaan is now, Brian McMahon. And it pains me to see McMahon is like the absolute worst team in the FCA. I mean, when I say they're bad, they're just like scum. Like, they're that bad. They're horrible. And it's embarrassing. I know, but it's kind of, I don't know, but I'm jealous of him.
I know. Elijah's 21, so he went to McMahon and he played 4 years, and they were getting thrashed a lot.
But they weren't. He came in right when they were all right, at least.
Yeah.
Now they're bad. They're like 0-9. They went 0-12. How do you go 0-12 or 13 in high school football? That's just insane. Anyway.
Jules, what was the score when y'all played them the last time?
Oh, that's probably 60-something.
It was close to that. I mean, that was the varsity game I got into my sophomore year, but
oh man, it's so bad. It's so bad. I don't even want to. Anyway, how was it playing for a legendary coach, and how was it playing for have you seen their football field, Shawn?
Yeah.
Have you seen the screen? Huge.
Yeah.
I'm jealous. That's all. And then they used to have like the ESPN for high school students where they would come and highlight. We didn't have any of that stuff. But anyway, I wanted to say I'm jealous of you. But anyway, also I'm proud of what you guys are doing over there in New Canaan. Big salute to New Canaan High School, the football team, the basketball team actually won an FCA championship a couple of years ago. Baseball team's been doing good recently, and all the other sport like field hockey, they're always good in everything. So big salute to New Canaan High School. If you could just move your head a little bit to the left, Jules, you see the big decal. You'll see a car almost every day driving through Norwalk with one of those New Canaan decals on there. So I just want to give a shout out to them. I want to give a shout out to you. I hope you come back on the show again. We really enjoyed you here. You live up to the word prodigy. I've never met a 17-year-old who is that invested into the NFL draft.
So. Everything that you did. Should we clap it up for Jules?
Clap one more time, man. Might as well clap it up. We don't get prodigies on our show that much, And I'm not saying that to be I'm not trying to mock you. I am impressed by your knowledge, and I think you have a future in it. I like your personality. You're serious, yet I don't even know how to really did it, but it's a good fit for the NFL draft. I don't want to say it's Mel Kiper-ish, but
vibe is there. It's like he's reading a book to me, and I could just like sit back on audio and listen to it.
But it's fluent. It's fluent. He doesn't stop. He doesn't stutter. So, good job, man. Really want to big you up, and your parents. You guys did a good job. I can tell he's a good kid. Sometimes you can get the energy and the vibes off of somebody just by talking to them, and I could tell you raised a good kid. So big up to your parents and your community, all your friends, all that good stuff. Hope you guys listen to it and take some notes. You got a superstar in your hand.
Any last words, Jules?
That's all I got. Thank you for having me today.
We appreciate it.
All right. Well, I just want to say this has been a monumental moment for sports fans only. If you didn't know by now, our buddy Jules is a prodigy. So I just want to say it one more time. It comes during this NFL draft time, so it was perfect timing. Just want to say thank you on behalf of sports fans only. Me, KJ, Shawn, Matt, we thank you a lot. And This is Last Take.
And this is Sports Fans Only. Peace.
You guys be